The chair for the education committee here at Kent, Washington. Today our lunch and learn is about ChatGPT and AI and how to utilize it in your business going forward. Our sponsors today are from Movement Mortgage, Ashley Cookson and Jessica Hoxie, who are going to come speak about their company first. So thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Hi. So we are the Lending Ladies. I am Ashley Cookson.
And I'm Jessica Hoxie.
So even though we're teaching you about ChatGPT, we do loans. We work for Movement Mortgage, so we're always happy to help with anybody's loan needs. We really strive to educate our clients, which is kind of why we've leaned more into this education side of things. So we kind of have this other subset, the Lending Ladies, that just focuses on education. So just recently we became approved as our own school. So now we have the ability to take some of our classes and turn them into CE for you guys. So, which leads me to this class. It will be offered for CE if you would like. Just come see us after, and we can collect payment and then we can issue a certificate.
Yeah, it'll be $20, and we can do Venmo, cash, or check. But we'll handle that afterwards if you want to do that.
So we'll send you some info after if you want to follow us on like Facebook, Instagram, or all over social media, and we'll give you the link to all our future trainings, which again are both CE and non-CE classes. And then we're really open to ideas. So this class really developed from what agents ask for, which are a lot of our other classes do too. Again, we can teach lending classes, but usually this is what people want more of. So please.
And what we enjoy too, to be honest.
Be open and honest in what your needs are and what we can help you with, and then we can develop a class for it. So.
Yeah, and then after the class as well, we're going to send you, if you do the CE, we'll send you your certificate. We'll send you a copy of the slides so you can have them, and then we actually have a cheat sheet for you guys as well that we'll be able to share with all of you. So yeah, all right, let's get started.
We'll dive in. So today we're really going to explore a few different ways that you can use ChatGPT to take your business to the next level and how you can leverage it. I'm sure everybody heard about it. Is anybody here using it? Okay. So hopefully for those using it, we can give you maybe some ideas or ways to use it that you weren't aware of before. And for those not using it, we can give you some ways to start using it right away. So what is ChatGPT? So it's an AI-powered conversational agent. It was released in November 2022. And it's going to use a deep learning model to understand and generate human-like responses in a natural language. So it can engage in text-based conversations, it can understand questions and prompts, and it can provide relevant information and as well as answers. So that's what really sets it apart, is its ability to understand and then provide those relevant responses. So GPT is generative, pre-trained, and transformer. That's what it stands for.
All right, so what ChatGPT is not. It is not smart, it's a trained algorithm. This next one's important. It is not creative, it does what you ask it to do. And the data is actually only updated to January 2022 if you're on the free version, unless you are paying for it, which we're gonna go through in a second, using the ChatGPT Model 4. We do have a workaround that we're also going to go over later in the presentation of how you can get up-to-date data and then import it into ChatGPT. But just know if you are trying to ask it a question and it's data that's after January 2022, it's not going to be able to provide that.
So it's not Google. Don't use that as a search engine. Stick to Google for that.
All right, so how do you get started? If you do not have an account already, you'd want to go to chat.openai.com. Now, if you just Google it, there are a couple of ChatGPTs that come up, so it can get a little confusing, but this is the main one that you'd want to go to. You're going to see this screen here. You can sign up. Once again, you do not have to pay. We've been using the free version all along. Ashley just broke down, I think, yesterday to get the paid version.
I just want to see what it's all about.
We couldn't hold off any longer. But what we're going to go through with this class, you can do everything on the free version. And then you'll just need to provide your date of birth, your phone number, and to create the account. All right, so yep, when you get started, like I said, the free version is the ChatGPT 3.5. There is a paid version, which is the $20 a month, and then they most recently came out with the Teams, which is $25 a month. So, yeah, if you want to do that, you're able to do that. All right, so I'm gonna show you where the screen is on the next slide, but they just came up with this new feature, which is really cool. It allows you to go into the settings and add some information about yourself that you would like ChatGPT to know to generate your responses. It does not, ChatGPT, unless you do this, it does not have a memory of who you are. I've seen some things on social media where people are like, oh, I keep asking it things, so like it knows me now. It doesn't. You can even ask it if it knows you, and it says it doesn't save the data. So this is the workaround where you could plug in some information so it does know who you are. So it's a little hard to see, but in the top, when you open this box, the first question is, what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? So we plugged in, I'm a realtor specializing in luxury residential properties in the Los Angeles area. My clients are typically high net worth individuals looking for upscale homes, and I focus on neighborhoods like Beverly Hills, Bel Air, and Malibu. Please use a professional and informative tone in my responses. And then it says, the next section, how would you like ChatGPT to respond? So what we plugged in was, generate responses that are informative and professional. If clients ask about property details, provide accurate information about square footage, amenities, and nearby attractions. Use industry terminology appropriately and ensure privacy and compliance with real estate regulations when discussing client details. So some of the instructions over here is what we use in these examples is we talked about the tone and style. We talked about how to answer some common questions, how to use the data. We're going to kind of break down some of these a little bit later in the presentation, but that's what we use to kind of customize these prompts. And then you can actually even ask ChatGPT to help you write this response that you're going to plug into it. So we're going to.
So you can literally tell it you're completing your custom instructions. Use those guidelines on the right-hand side, and it will give you these exact prompts. So Jess and I didn't come up with these prompts. ChatGPT did.
So once you sign in, this is what the screen is going to look like. Over here is where in the settings, what I just talked about, the custom settings. If you hit this button, that's where those two screens will pop up where you can put in that information. The top circle on the left, it keeps a history of everything you've ever asked it. So every day when you go in, or if you close out and you open a new screen, it keeps a track of everything that you ask it and its answers. So it's really nice if you liked a certain response, you can click back and kind of see what was the prompt that you used in order to get that or play off of that response. If you don't like it saving everything, then you can click that little button where it says new chat and it'll clear out your history for you. But this is the main screen, and this is where you are going to type in all of your prompts.
So we wanted to put together a few ways that you can leverage ChatGPT to give you some ideas of how to get in there and get started. There are just so many different ways we could go down like a rabbit hole on it, but these would probably be some of maybe the more common. So you can use it to craft engaging social posts, Facebook ads, create a social media calendar. You can use it to provide you hashtags for your posts or even give you content ideas. Email correspondence is another big one. Obviously, we're corresponding with clients all the time. You can use it to compose professional, personalized emails to the clients. You can use it to rewrite your emails. So maybe you write your email, but you just kind of always use the same words or things like that. You can put that in ChatGPT and ask it to even just rewrite it for you or make it better.
Yeah, sometimes people just copy it and just say, make this email better.
Yeah. We'll show you ways to do better prompts, but you can do it like that way too, and you'll still get some great information. So for the emails too, you could do market updates. While you're not going to use ChatGPT to get you the market information, you can still tell it that you're going to write a market update and have it script the email, and then you can just bring in the data. Or we'll even show you another way where you can get the data into ChatGPT. Client follow-ups, educational content, neighborhood insights, event invitations, success stories, market analysis, referral requests. I mean, the list really goes on. Property listings is a big one, so you can use it to write your property listings. We'll show you an example. You might never write a property listing again once you see how fast ChatGPT does it for you. Blog posts and trainings. So a good example with trainings, again, just to give you kind of some live examples, are You can use it to come up with training content, so you could have it give you, 10 ideas of trainings for a series for first-time home buyers. It's gonna list them. You could then ask it to break that down into, okay, give me my outline for each of those trainings. It does that. Now you can ask it to tell you what you're gonna say for each of those trainings. Take that training, compose it into slides for me, and it's gonna break down by slide what you should have on each slide. Then you can take it and you can go to Eventbrite and you can ask it to write your Eventbrite description, write your social post. So when Jess and I launch a class, while we don't have ChatGPT write our class for us, we don't use it for that. Sometimes we will use it to get additional ideas though, like what are some things we could be missing that we should touch on. We do use it to write all the Eventbrite descriptions. We literally put our class outline in ChatGPT and tell it to write the descriptions for us. And we use it for all our social posts. So what that's done for us is allow us to really elevate and use our time to build more trainings because we're not spending it trying to think of what to write in Eventbrite.
It even helped us get our classes CE certified. You have to provide an outline for that. So we have the classes already done, copy pasted the notes and asked it to put together an outline for us. Obviously we reviewed it, we got to tweak it, we got to add some timing to it, but I mean it saved us so much more time. So, all right, so it's all about the prompt. The better the prompt, the better the answer that you're going to get. So we're gonna go over some best practices. Number one, you wanna be clear and specific. Clearly communicate your request or your question. The more specific and concise you are, the better the chances of getting a more relevant and accurate response. So if you put garbage in, you're gonna get garbage out, right? The more vague of a question that you ask, the more vague of an answer that you're going to get. You wanna set the context. Provide relevant context to help ChatGPT understand the subject or topic that you're referring to. Include any necessary background information or details that are important for the conversation. This can help guide the model's responses and make them more relevant. So for example, instead of saying, can you explain quantum physics, you could say, I'm helping my 5th grader with his homework. Can you please explain quantum physics in a simple way? You want to use correct grammar and spelling. While the model can often interpret incorrect spelling and grammar mistakes, providing clear and correct prompts ensure you get the best response. And then you can also direct the output format. So if you want the answer in a specific format, then you just have to state it in your question. So for example, you could say, could you list the steps to bake a chocolate cake? Or you could ask, could you please explain the process of baking a chocolate cake in a paragraph? You could also ask it to put it into a chart form. So there's another class that we teach where it combines ChatGPT with Canva, and we actually grab some data from ChatGPT and we ask it to put it into columns for us, and then we're able to copy those columns and import it into an Excel sheet. If you do the paid version, there's actually a plugin and ChatGPT can turn it into an Excel sheet all within the system itself.
It's really just developing so fast. Things ChatGPT could not do 4 weeks ago, it's doing now. Like even the Excel, here we're teaching a class of copying data and putting it in Excel. ChatGPT can just put it in Excel for you, which saves steps.
Yep. Ask follow-up questions. If the response wasn't what you expected or you need more information, feel free to ask follow-up questions to clarify or experiment with different phrasings. I feel like a lot of people, when I hear that they don't like using ChatGPT, it's because they're not using very specific prompts. If you get a response that you don't like, what don't you like about it? Did you not like the tone of it? Well, then you can say, can you please rewrite that in a more friendly manner? Was it too complicated? It's using too much jargon. Can you please rewrite that in the 10th grade reading level? Whatever you don't like about the response that you get, you can always tweak. We do it all the time. And then sometimes what I'll do is I liked a couple sentences here, a couple sentences there, and then I just kind of mush things together until I get something that I like and I'm comfortable with.
You just have to keep clarifying with it. You can be simple and just be like, I don't like the top line, replace that. You can ask it to rewrite the whole thing. Sometimes I'll do that. Or sometimes I need to correct it. Maybe it didn't understand what I was asking because my prompt wasn't that great, so it's coming from the wrong perspective. But you can just keep working on the same exact prompt. You don't have to retype it every time. So that's the best part, is I think sometimes, like Jess said, when people get the output, they just take it and they run with it. And they're like, oh, this really stinks. It's not how I would talk, or I don't like what it said. keep working on it until it is more organic, it's more you, it's, you know, reaching the clients that you want to reach for whatever you're trying to do, and then still make it your own. I mean, you can take it word for word, or you can just soften it up a little bit too and make it your own, but it still gives you information fast.
Yeah, for instance, when you ask it to write a social post, sometimes it's gonna give you like 50 emojis in there. If you don't ever use emojis, then don't use the emojis. You can literally, can you please rewrite that without the emojis? Or if you want to use a couple, you can delete it. So it's always just making it comfortable and making it your own. And then also prompt fact checking. So remember that while prompts can influence the model's behavior, ChatGPT's responses are generated based on patterns learned from training data and may not always be accurate. So make sure that you're reviewing and verifying that the outputs are correct. And then you can actually also ask it to fact check too. So if it says something that you're not sure is accurate, you can ask it to provide the resources of how it came up with that answer. So it's another way for you to make sure that you are providing accurate information. I've seen that for the most part, it's pretty accurate. I think, and it can obviously get tricky when I'm asking it to write like a social post on lending, right? That's where like, oh, it can get a little funny, but I think it, for the most part, it does do a pretty good job. I've only seen a couple things where I'm like, that doesn't quite seem right, and once again, you're able to correct that. Did I see you raise your hand? Oh, no. Let's make sure.
So setting the tone, so part of the prompt is setting the tone, so that way you can get a better response. So you want to make sure that you tell it basically what you're trying to accomplish to your desired style or attitude, or even who it's being gauged towards. So you can ask it to be polite and formal. So you would instruct ChatGPT to use a courteous language or a respectful tone. So please provide a formal response or use professional language. Another option is if you're writing something you want it to be a little bit lighter, you could say, answer the question as if you were talking to a friend, or use a more relaxed and informative style. Professional and authoritative, you could say, use confident language, provide accurate and detailed information, or specify that you want a more authoritative tone. Even as far as humor and creativity, you can ask it to provide a lighthearted answer. You can get really silly with it, and you could ask it to respond as if it was Jim Carrey, let's say, and it is going to write you a response on your topic exactly like he would say it. So it's pretty wild.
The first time I was shown this app was actually by a realtor, and he was like, write this listing description in the voice of Little John, and after every little thing, it was like, yeah. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
And then also emotional. So like a good example on our end is maybe we're writing to someone about how they could potentially refinance for, debt consolidation. That's kind of like a touchy subject. So maybe being like a little bit more empathetic or something like that is going to be, more helpful. We don't want to write a real authoritative, email to them. We want to be like kind and understanding. So setting the tone is going to be a big, big part of how you structure your prompt.
So we did put together the perfect prompt formula for you. First, you want to have the context. You want to add the specific information, add your intent or your goal, and then add the response format if needed. So my example that we have here is the context would be, I'm a local real estate professional. The specific information would be, I'm looking to help current renters buy homes as first-time home buyers in the Taunton, Massachusetts area. My intent or goal, can you provide a simple and easy to follow home buying checklist for a first-time home buyer? And the response format, write it as a step-by-step process.
So some common mistakes that we've seen are using excessive jargon. While you want to have that perfect prompt and give as much descriptive information as you can to get what you want, you can leave out like excess words, even please. I mean, we say please all the time. You don't really.
Yes, we're very polite to ChatGPT, but you don't actually have to say please rewrite this.
Not being specific. So again, provide specific characteristics or details. The more information you furnish, the better the response is going to be. Failing to proofread, it's not always 100% grammatically correct. I mean, we really don't see a lot of issues, but again, just be careful. Always check your work. Just don't use what the system spits out. And then asking multiple questions simultaneously. So while we did mention that you can ask a lot of questions, you're going to want to ask them individually to keep kind of refining that response that you have. You don't want to just ask him all at once. Or even if you're trying to have it write something for you, just kind of start in steps. Try not to load too much into one. tasks beyond its capability. Like we mentioned, it's not Google. What it's good at is creating text, but if you try to use it beyond its intended use, you're really not going to be happy with what ChatGPT does. And then not utilizing diverse prompts. So try different prompts too. If one doesn't work, maybe try to word it a little bit differently and try again if the questions kind of aren't working. Really, again, people that are asking very basic prompts, they're just not utilizing the system the way it's meant to be used. And it's pretty impressive when you see some of the prompts that people do ask it and the response and what they're able to be able to get the system to do. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and we could put in exactly the same prompt and it's going to give us a little bit of a different answer. So that's the other thing too. As I've heard, some people are concerned because, well, people are gonna know I'm using this because it's gonna be the same exact as someone else. Well, no, actually the answer is gonna be a little bit different. And once again, you wanna make sure you're always using still your own voice and your own tone, but this gives you something to work with. It's not just having a blank slate, trying to write that social media post. If you put in a prompt, it can give you a good, starting point to what you can work with, and then just tweak it from there. So what we're gonna do now is we're actually going to go through some examples. So for some of those who have not signed up for ChatGPT, you'll get to see how quickly it works, which is really amazing. So we have a few examples here, and she's gonna be connecting over there, so just give us one sec. Does anybody have any questions so far while we get this part set up?
Just to let you know when we want to get like all the slides and the credit and things like
Yep.
that, we email you or we just?
No, we can email that to everybody. We'll get a copy of everybody who signed in, so we'll send it to
For the
everybody
CE,
for you.
just come to see us after, just so we can make sure you want to get the CE credit, but we'll share everything that we have here.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So are there any issues with copywriting? I mean, I'm assuming it goes into the internet.
Yeah, no, because it's
Oh,
just generating its own answer, if that makes sense. It is grabbing data, but I haven't heard of any copyright issues. Have you?
No?
ChatGPT is basically, every time you're putting information into it, you're helping build the system.
The learning model.
So it's its own system.
Yeah, so it remembers, yes, exactly. That's how it keeps like training and learning. But it doesn't remember like you specifically. Like it's not tracking you,
Just your
but it
data.
just, exactly. I think the ChatGPT actually passed the bar too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So it's very, very smart. And I should also mention it's you can ask for answers in different languages as well. So if you're bilingual and you're trying to come up with, whatever email content, social media content, you can ask for it, and it had a ton of languages. Yeah, which is pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna start with our first prompt here. Just flip this over. So we are going to ask ChatGPT to create a social media content calendar for us. Our prompt that we created is act like a real estate agent, create a monthly content calendar for real estate geared towards buyers or sellers with 24 pieces of content for 1 month, including 4 weekly video reels and static posts. Ensure the content aligns with the brand identity of Milestone Real Estate in Massachusetts. Targets the audience, maintains interest and diversity, and promotes engagement. Allow creativity and flexibility within these guidelines.
So this is ChatGPT live now. So what I did was
Good thing I read it, because you could have so little.
pasted that whole prompt down bottom, and then you're just gonna hit enter. It might take a second just because of the connection, but it's usually super fast, and it will start generating everything for you. Just sometimes it's delayed when we do these trainings.
Yeah, if you're at home, you'd already be having the answer. It literally takes like 10 seconds. I think it's just... You can't zoom in on your end, right?
Not for this screen.
That kind of...
Is it generating it?
It is, but...
So small. Yeah.
Oh no, it actually said there was an error.
Okay, let me try again.
Yeah.
So that, we don't normally get errors.
No.
That's the first time I've ever had that happen, but it happens when you go live.
So on the homepage or whatever, there's some place to start this conversation, or? when you first
Yeah, so
open-
every time you sign in, it's a very simple screen. It always, I know it's a little like, I don't know why it's a little mini right now, but on the bottom is where you put the prompts every
Okay.
single time. And then over here, you'll see, we use it all the time, but this is all the things that Ashley's used it for. It just stores everything.
So again, I know it's hard to see exactly what it's saying, but that really, wasn't the point of this exercise. It was really just to show you guys that, when we put in or ask for something like that, look how fast it's coming up with it.
Yeah, I can kind of give you, because I know you guys cannot see this all. It says week 1, introduction to market trends. And then it literally lists out Monday, static post on current Massachusetts real estate trends. And then Tuesday, every single day of the week, it gives you a topic. Week 2, home buying / selling tips. Once again, every day it's giving you a topic. For Tuesday, it's saying do a video reel on the top 5 selling tips from milestone experts, because I had done it for Milestone Realty. Week 3, community spotlight. So it does break down everything, and as you can see, I mean, a little delayed, but that was still within 30 seconds that we got that answer.
Yeah, how long would it take you to come up with a social media calendar? And then again, you can take it a step further. So now that it did do this for you and it kind of gave you your layout for the month, you still might be wondering, but I don't know what to write about that topic. We'll now take the individual topic and now ask it to write you like a video script. If you're gonna do, a video post or a reel, if you're gonna do a stagnant post, you could ask it, for that. So have it dive down further into those topics if you want it to give you more information, and then you can really have a robust and comprehensive social media calendar.
One thing I want to point out is that down here, once again, I know you can't really see it, but there's a little clipboard. If you hit that clipboard, it'll copy the whole answer. Otherwise, if you highlight it, and it honestly took me a while to figure this out, if you highlight everything and do the right click, copy, and then paste it, when you paste it, it has this like gray background to it, so it kind of gives it away you're using ChatGPT. But if you hit that little clipboard and you paste it, that gray background isn't there. So it's a lot easier, because this is supposed to help you save time and be efficient. So you don't want to be retyping all the answers or something
And
silly
then
like
when you
that.
are pasting, what I've noticed is it will put it in a different font. And let's say you had a Word doc open or an email and you use a, Times New Roman or Laura, whatever you might use for a font. When you go to right click and hit paste, you're gonna see like a little control box that comes up and it has the paste functions. The third one in, if you hit that, it's gonna paste it directly the way the rest of your writing is, which is kind of nice. It just, again, saves you some extra time.
So we're gonna do another example here. This one is for short form video script. So, that's me. So we are asking it, create a captivating short form video script suitable for platforms like Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. Assume the role of a real estate agent. Write an engaging script that revolves around showcasing a luxurious waterfront property. Each sentence should grab the viewer's attention and entice them to keep watching. Okay, yeah. As you can see that, you can't actually see the words, but that started typing a lot quicker this time. So what it's doing is not only is it coming up with the script for the video, but it also is giving you, it's saying cut to a stunning, it's moving, aerial view of the property, highlighting its grandeur and location. This one's telling you transition to the bedroom. Like, it also not only gives you the wording, but where you should be going in the video. Sorry, it's losing its oomph a little because you guys can't actually read it. But
So is the top of that response the script that you asked for?
Yep, so yeah, so it gave you the script, and then also, like I said, gave you like kind of the cuts of the video where you should be going in and out.
And on the previous example, if you want to dive deeper on something, you don't just say more detail on all of these, you do one at a time.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, like I'd copy that so you have the whole schedule, and then like week 1 for that Monday, I would then break it down. Yeah, if it's telling you to do a social post for home buyer tips, then I would write the prompt. Can you please write me a social media post? Give me 5 top home buying tips for Southern Rhode Island. This is the point of view from a real estate agent. And then, if you want it in a certain tone or something, you type that in.
If it's something like a class, like let's say you had it do an outline for you, you don't have to do each section of the outline separately. That is something that you could be like, great, I love the class outline. Now tell me exactly what to say for each section, or write my script for the class, and then it will do it in bulk and it will do it all at once for you.
So our next example here is we are going to ask it.
No. Let me see if I can do it on this side.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
I just wanna make sure I'm clear. So for it to describe, or come up with a script to describe a video, obviously you have to bring the video into wherever this is, so it can describe it? That's the part I don't understand, I guess.
So if you're trying to do like a property video,
Right.
you would give it descriptive information about the
So
property.
you don't just upload the video?
You don't just upload the video, you say, like, I'm gonna record, you could even say, I'm gonna record a 3-minute video of my new property listing. And then my new property listing boasts the following features.
Got
So
it.
you don't have to be really formal and like write it out, then you can just start listing out features
Got
like
it.
hardwood floors, ocean view, great schools, and then it will take all that and it will come up with it.
Yeah, you don't even have to give like the adjectives. You could just say, just it'll include all the make it
And
sound
tell it your
grand for
target
you.
audience, like maybe your target audience is all buyers, or it's first time home buyers, or investors. So try to give it as much detail of things like that, and then it will come up with your video script for you.
Perfect, thanks.
Yeah, I remember one of the first times I was using it, I was liking the responses, but I'm like, it just does, it's like off a little bit. And I was like, oh, I forgot to tell it who my audience is. And like, I went back and I was like, okay, rewrite this, but I'm writing this market update for realtors. And then it kind of like changes it a little bit. So once again, anything you don't like about it, just go back and ask it to change it. Our next example here is an attention grabbing direct email. Act like a professional and expert copywriter and proofreader. Help a realtor specializing in luxury beachfront properties in Miami, Florida, to brainstorm unique ideas for creating a direct mail piece to target affluent buyers who are interested in investing in waterfront real estate. Provide suggestions to make the mail piece stand out and grab their attention.
So I don't know how it's gonna come out this time, but it's funny, sometimes it does come out different, like Jess said. It looks like it is coming out the way it did last time, which is, it's telling you how to write the email. And we were like, no, that's not what we want you to write the email. Then you can literally say, that's great, but now can you write the email for me? And then it's gonna write the email for you, so again.
Yeah, this is actually giving you ideas for
Yeah.
concept and designs, content strategy, visual elements, but it didn't actually write the email. So that's what we could do. If we like what it says, that's all great. Can you put an email? It even gives you the title of the email. Like it gives you all the details for it.
So definitely don't get, discouraged by it. Just kind of keep playing with it until you're able to really, get what you want.
And then we just have one more example to show you, which I think you guys will like. So this one's for a listing description. I'm a realtor. Generate a property description for one of my new listings to post on MLS. Use the key details below and ensure it is descriptive and appealing to buyers. No more than 2,500 characters. And as you can see, we've listed all of the information about the property, colonial, 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, square footage. It's renovated, some of the features, chef's kitchen, water views, the neighborhood, price point. So all of the facts that you want it to include in your listing, just list them in there. Just gonna copy and paste it.
Can you upload a picture?
From what we found, if you upload a picture to it, it doesn't do anything, but we will show you some other things that you can upload to it. And it's not to say, again, that it won't eventually, or there's not a plugin or something, which we'll talk more about, that can have a workaround, because it's just developing,
You can generate
so fast.
pictures. They're
Sometimes,
not great, yeah.
yeah.
But it's funny because as of what was just a few weeks ago, it couldn't generate pictures, but now I think it's Canva plugin, it can. So yeah, it's constantly. It's constantly.
Can you talk more about the Canva plugin?
So we're gonna, that would be
Okay,
next,
good.
yeah, yep.
Just if it generates a picture and it's response, do you have to buy the rights to the photo or can you reuse?
No, it's through like the Canva operate the Canva plugin.
Yeah, it might have other ways to generate photos, but we've only tested it with the Canva plugin. So we'll talk about it a little bit, but that is new. I saw the Canva plugin, maybe it wasn't weeks ago, it might have been a month ago, and at that time it couldn't generate the image. And then now when just testing it, I think I just did it yesterday actually, because that's when I signed up for the free version. It was able to do it, so I'll show you guys that too.
But if you do have the free version, you can ask it. I know Ashley's done this before, where she said, all right, I'm making a social media post on,
About,
I
yeah.
don't know the topic,
such.
whatever the topic may be, like, what should I use for a graphic? And it literally gave her an idea of what to use.
Like use a beach scene, or you know what I mean, like something like that. So it certainly will give you ideas. And then another class that we do teach teaches you how to do like 50 Canva graphics in 5 minutes using ChatGPT on the paid version.
Can you read what it came up with?
Yeah, I know, it's really small here. So it says, nestled in the heart of the vibrant College Hill neighborhood, this stunning 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom colonial home offers an unparalleled living experience. Spanning an impressive 3,500 square feet, this recently renovated gem combines classic charm with modern elegance. As you step inside, you're greeted by a spacious sunlit foyer that leads into an open-plan living area. The heart of this home is undoubtedly the chef's kitchen, featuring state-of-the-art appliances, sleek countertops, and ample cabinetry. A dream for both the aspiring and seasoned chef. The kitchen seamlessly flows into a cozy dining area, perfect for intimate dinners or entertaining guests. Let's see, each of the 5 generously sized bedrooms exudes comfort and style with a master suite boasting serene water views that promise a tranquil start to each day. The ensuite bathrooms are meticulously designed, offering modern features and a spa-like ambience. The beauty of this home extends to its rich hardwood floors that run throughout, enhancing its warmth and character. Additional features include a beautifully finished basement, offering versatile space for a home gym, office, or entertainment area. And then step outside to the charming backyard, an ideal spot for relaxation, sorry, it's hard to read, or relaxation outdoor gatherings where the beauty of College Hill surrounds you. The neighborhood is a walker's paradise with local shopping, dining options, and cultural landmarks just a stroll away. This property is more than a home, it is a lifestyle choice for those seeking a blend of modern luxury and classic New England living experience of one of Providence's most sought after neighborhoods. So if you didn't like something about that, you could go in and tweak, whatever it is that you didn't like, say you didn't like the description of the kitchen, which I thought that part was actually pretty good. But if for some reason it said something wrong, that's where you could go in and say you like most of it but that part, then you can say, it's all good, but I just want to correct this one section.
Or you could say too, like you could clarify, you want to talk more about the kitchen, talk more about, like this is good, but talk more about the kitchen. Mention that it has like a Viking range or whatever it might be. And again, it will just keep tweaking it and refining it for you.
But I think that's pretty good for 30 seconds.
So if you just saw one thing you wanted to change or correct or edit, would you just copy it and just do it in Word?
If it's something you're gonna edit on your own, yeah, I'll do that. I'll copy it, or I'll copy bits and pieces that I wanna use.
Yeah.
If you want it to regenerate a better response, then that's when I utilize the system and tweak it within there.
Can you go back to what the prompt was, please? I'm just,
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember all these details in the prompt.
Yeah, did it come up?
Yeah, and so what we'll do too is we'll provide you with a copy of the slides.
Seriously.
So that way you have them, and then we're also gonna provide you with a cheat sheet that has, I think it has about 15 to 20 prompts related to real estate of just, again, some ways that you can get your feet wet and get started, so you're not just stressed about coming up with a prompt.
Yeah, so we told it it had a finished basement, but then you see it went as far to say, oh, it could be a gym, it could be an office, it expands on it. It did mention the hardwood floors throughout, and obviously if it wasn't throughout, then that's where you have to go in and tweak and say, oh, only the first floor has the hardwood floors.
And that doesn't say the foyer. And
It also mentioned something about expansive backyard with water views, but that's not on there.
We have water views, but we didn't say it's expansive backyard. Exactly, so you have to be.
Embellishes a little.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You gotta check it and make sure it's right, but it also, it did describe it very lovely. I'm sold on this house.
Price is missing.
And you could use this.
Yeah,
form-
yeah.
You could use this.
They left that
format too. So what was interesting when we didn't have the listing description in our presentation before, it was something we wanted to touch on because we do think it's such a big piece of value. We messed with the system them a little bit yesterday to actually ask it, what is the best prompt that we should use if we wanna ask you to make such, we are such and such, blah, blah, blah. ChatGPT actually pulled the prompt to use. So the first prompt it gave us, we didn't like. It was like 2 paragraphs, and it almost felt like you had to do the writing, and I was kind of like, well, it's not why I use ChatGPT. So I think I asked it to like make it easier to use or put it more in a list form, and then it came up with this, and I was like, that's perfect. So you have that little bit up top, but then you can really, I mean, you could save this in a Word doc, property, location, bedrooms, just fill it in and then paste it right in. So I was like, oh, this is much better. This is what I was looking for.
And I think too, correct me if I'm wrong, I think someone said in another class that, remember, it only has data up to January 2022, but if this property was listed before and the property is similar, it can, if you put the address in, it actually can pull up some of the features. But, you know, if it's an older house that's never been listed, it's not gonna be able
But
to
you,
do
yeah,
that.
you could give that a try too. So we want to show you some more ideas and some other ways that you can utilize ChatGPT. So again, we talked about how you can, you know, either connect with direct apps within the system, which we'll talk more about, which are plugins, or you can just use other applications in combination with ChatGPT to get different results. So since ChatGPT isn't Google, as an agent, I'm sure you know, are always looking at market statistics, and maybe you want to put those statistics into something. You could use Google Bard. So Google Bard is Google's AI. So this was just kind of a quick example we did. We did not probably use a good prompt for it, but we just said, could I please have 2023 real estate stats on home purchases? Again, this was not specific at all, but it came back with some quick information. Then we just took that information, pasted it into ChatGPT, and asked ChatGPT to give us 10 social posts. You can only, again, see 5 here in the snippet, and it did it like that. And then again, you could elaborate on those, or you could, you know, ask it to write an email to your clients with this information in it. You can really do so much. So if you can't access the real live data from ChatGPT, basically the moral of the story is just bring it in then. Bring it in and then ask ChatGPT to do with it what you want.
Yeah, or if you pull it in from your own MLS system or anything like that, same thing. You can just, whatever facts you want, you can feed it right into it.
An article, so there was an article recently, and we just wanted to break it down a little bit and make it more client friendly. So again, like things about rates or about the market, bring in the whole article, paste the article in, and then either maybe you want it summarized. You're having a quick coffee, you don't have a lot of time this morning, but you really want to dive in or have an idea of what the market's doing. It can summarize it for you, it can break it down for consumers, it can create content from it. You know, maybe it's an article, 5-page article on credit, and you could ask it to, you know, give me 10 credit tips, or give me, you know, 10 social posts from this article, and 2 reels, and blah, 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 and it will take that article apart and give you every single thing you want on it, giving you content for the whole entire month.
Yeah, we'll do that sometimes for some market updates. You know, we'll find some articles, but it has some like, not everybody's gonna understand all the mortgage language going on in there. So I'll copy and paste it, and I'll upload it, and I'll say who my audience is. You know, please rewrite this for social media posts, you know, targeted towards first-time home buyers. And then they're gonna simplify all the information. So it's a great tool that way.
Again, Eventbrite descriptions, class titles, we use it for class titles a lot, so even just to like wordsmith and things like that, so.
Yeah, I think it came up with the title for this class, right?
I think it did.
Would you bring an article as a PDF?
No, I just copy and paste it right in there. So I'll say, for example, please summarize the following article for social media post targeted towards realtors, giving them a market update. And then I just literally put the little 2 dots, what was that, the little, whatever, 2 dots,
Yeah.
and then I'll paste it.
Okay. And can you do this, can you do a spreadsheet? You do it or not?
So I think with the paid version can do, or
You might have to paste a spreadsheet. I would just say, honestly, just try it. Try it and see what it comes out with. That's what I do a lot. And even with the news articles, I don't get really particular with it. Like I forgot what I was doing with it yesterday. And the article, you know, had all these advertisements and all this stuff in between. I just highlighted and pasted it, and it seemed to ignore all that kind of stuff and just still give me what I wanted. I didn't like highlight, you know, every piece of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of times that I'll go to do something and then Ashley's already done, because we like to split a lot of our stuff. I'm like, how are you already done? She's like, oh, I just plugged into ChatGPT. I'm like, you're so smart. Let me go do that
For the
too.
outlines, again, like we had done the work, we had our speaker notes, we had our slides done, we just had to have like this timed outline. And I was like, oh God, like, and so I just pasted mine in and she's like, what? And I was like, oh, I'm already all done.
All the time. She's always like, oh, I just did this. I'm like, oh, thank God you reminded me. all
Hopefully
the
my
time.
kids don't take after me for school, because then we're gonna have a really big problem. So ChatGPT 4. So again, we're just diving into this because the free version of ChatGPT is so amazing and we haven't yet found any ways we can't utilize it. But ChatGPT 4, or the next one that you pay for, what it basically touts is its plugins. So it has all of these built-in plugins. So on the left-hand side is just a snippet of kind of what it looks like. It gives you featured plugins, trending plugins, and plugins for each different topic. So yesterday I did just kind of click in and look at 2 of them because I was just really curious. So I'll show you, let me just go back to ChatGPT quick. Right here. So again, in like my history. There we go. So this was kind of a funny one. It had a logo maker. And again, like I was really in this quick and I had other things I had to do, so I wasn't messing with it. So I think I just said like create a logo for the Lending Ladies. What was interesting about this was it asked me a bunch of questions. So it was like, what is your color palette? Like, do you want something like professional or fun? Like I asked a few different things. So my prompt was terrible. I could have put in a much, much better prompt. But it spit out, again, 6 logos. I mean, they were horrible.
Yeah, we're not gonna be changing our logo, but.
So they were kind of cheesy, but again, I didn't give it any information like whatsoever. And then I think I even said like I didn't like them. I even said they were cheesy, like because I was really just playing. So then it gave me like a bunch more logos.
She said, these are way too loud. Can you soften?
So, but again, it's mind blowing like how fast it is. So you could maybe use it to come up with like a really, amazing logo. Or let me see if it pulls up the camera.
And once again, I think that's probably something that's just gonna keep getting better and better with time too.
This is the Canva one. It looks much longer again than what like I asked it to do. But basically I think I clicked on one of the prompts it already had and it was like, create me an image on whatever, and I just said for first-time home buyers. I gave it no information. What I was impressed by was you can't see the images here, they're not loading. It gave me 2 images and I was like, okay, it's doing images now, like this is pretty impressive. Before it used to just reference a template, it wouldn't actually like do the work for you. So I was curious what would happen if I click on the image and it takes it right into my Canva account so that I can modify it. So I mean, for people that really don't like doing, so they're not into Canva, they're not, creative, or honestly, like we just don't have time for it. You could use this Canva plugin, and again, this might not be like the greatest image ever, but I really didn't give it any information. I'm very curious if I give it a very detailed prompt, what type of creative it's gonna come up with for Canva.
Yeah, because you could have given it our color palette and.
It could have been huge,
Yeah.
So, but we could come in here, we could swap out a few things if we wanted to, change it to our font, slap our logo on it, and now it just saved us maybe 10, 20 minutes in Canva, so.
And that's with the plugin.
That's with the plugin.
What did you say it was
So,
per month?
It's $20 per month, $25 per Teams. But again, there are other ways, like let's say if you're just getting your feet wet with ChatGPT, I honestly wouldn't recommend it. I would use, again, like before you pay for something, make sure you're using it all the time, you get a feel for it. And there are other ways that you can use ChatGPT with Canva by just doing an upload, and it's still gonna give you like a ton of social shares. So there are some other ways to get around it.
Canva has a pretty good GPT right within its program too.
So Canva has come out with their own AI suite, and when did they launch that? I think within the last year, because we watched the launch, and they came out with, I don't know, maybe like anywhere from 10 to 20 new tools. So if you go on our social media page too, the private realtor group, every Wednesday we've started actually giving a new like Canva hack. So they're like 1 to 3 minute videos of kind of cool things that you can do in Canva, because that's something else that's developing so fast. So we do plan on doing a ChatGPT 2 to showcase maybe great plugins that we find that could be relevant to your business and just other ways to kind of maximize the paid version. So hopefully we'll have something like that in the next few months.
And then lastly, we're just gonna go over a couple of other AIs that could be helpful to you. So the first one is HeyGen. It transforms text into professional looking videos. It uses AI to convert your script into a video, complete with a realistic avatar, background text, sound, and music. So how it works is you pick your avatar, your voice, your language. There's a bunch of different voices, language, everything. You input your script and then it will generate the video for you within minutes. So that one's pretty cool. And then Maverick is similar, but this one helps you to make personalized videos at scale. So what you do is you record your base video, you record yourself reading at least a 15-minute script so that way it can capture your voice to personalize the videos. What you can do, so for example for this one would be, say you wanted to send a video for all the milestones that happen during a process, right? So you could say, we'll say with that, say it's just gonna be like, congratulations, it's closing day, whatever little tips you wanna say or just wanna say congratulations, but you want it to be personalized. So you're saying, congratulations, Sarah, reach it to closing table, blah, blah, blah. You can record one video, and what it is able to do, since it has your voice recorded, you can then say, okay, the next video, now your next client, Steve, can you please personalize this to Steve? You don't have to re-record the video, and now that video is gonna say, congratulations, Steve. So it seems like it's really personalized, but all you have to actually do is record that first base video, and then it can kind of tweak it going forward because it has your voice recognition.
There are two editing softwares that are similar. We don't have it in here, but there's one that we've recently used too called Descript. Descript is similar to that. If it has your voice, that has you record so many minutes of voice, you basically upload your video, it transcribes your voice into script, and it puts like a whole script, almost like a Word doc, and you can add in words, like maybe you forgot to say the or but, and then it will add it basically to you saying it in the video portion. And then even for editing, you say or so. Like we've started to realize that as we're recording online training.
We say so a lot. We don't really do the ums, but apparently we're always like, so.
But you delete the word and it edits the video. So it's just like for someone that might not be like video editing really, I don't think is our thing. Like
No, it was taking me, we recorded one of our classes. I was struggling for like days to get it edited. It's not really my thing. I wasn't too sure. We found Descript. It was so easy, literally. I'm just like, oh, I just take out the words and it edits the video. So really, you're just literally editing the word portion of it. So yeah, if you want to check out anything like that, I highly recommend that because I was able to edit that video in like 5 minutes. And like I said, it was taking me days before. So
all these platforms, the Canva, the edit, they're all like catching on and coming up with ways just to make it so much easier. It's just so fast and wondering what software you should pay for, not pay for, and use. So.
And these ones up here are pay?
Yeah, so the first two, HeyGen and Maverick, there are prices involved. HeyGen, there is a free version, and then it goes up to like $480 a year, so it's like anything else, depending on like how much usage. And I think there is a monthly payment for the Maverick one as well. The last thing here that I'm just going to touch upon too is Future Media. So it's the largest AI tool directory. It updates daily, and I mean, we've already mentioned so much that AI can do now. If you're looking for something, this is kind of like the Google for AI. So you can go here and, I mean, it could be for anything. You could, I need help getting organized. You type that in, it's gonna give you a bunch of different AIs that are available that could help you do that. Say you need an email assistant, a paraphraser. Even if you're trying to book flights and you're trying to find the cheapest price, if you type in that looking for cheap flights, it'll show you any AIs that are available. And it's also nice too because it'll say a lot of these are free. There are some paid ones, but I've noticed it gives you a good amount of free ones available. So like I said, it's just a tool to see what's out there and find some more. But yeah, that is the kind of class. Did you guys have any questions on anything?
It's like,
Yeah.
It was awesome. Excellent.
So it's on.
Yeah. Yeah, like we said, we'll send out the slides, we'll send out our cheat sheet. That AI can do. I use Canva for a lot of that. It does do some of that. That tool's still like kind of tweaking. So I've used it a few times. Like I did it in one of our classes. I used that example where like I made like a person disappear from the photo. Worked beautifully. But then like I did it in a separate class where like same exact photo, same exact tool, and it like kind of removed the person. And of course it's getting a lot of like figures. I'm like, normally it works. Hold on, let me try this again. Yeah. So I personally, yeah, it's still not. I know that in our last class people were saying the Adobe has a really good one, but I don't know like how like expert stuff is going to be. Like I don't know how much tech you got to learn for that, but yeah.
Well, and probably if you get really good at
Yeah, that's right, exactly. That's what I check out. Yeah.
I want to thank everybody. I'd like to thank everybody. I handed out surveys direct to everybody. Please use them and fill out whatever you can. This class, other classes. That's as loud as I go.
Did you mention the credit?
Yeah, credits.
Yeah, so is anybody interested in getting a credit for this class? If so, it's $20 and we can,
1 hour.
1 hour. So this one is the CEU credit. I should also mention we have 3 other classes for credits as well. Those are all 4 credits.
Yes.
So we can include some of that information in our email we send out as well.
But you can just come see us after if you do want the certificate.
Ladies, we will decide if you want to take care of the credit courses. We, Ken Washington will also be offering in the next several months our classes for all those have renewal this year. We're going to have a lot. Of course, overachieving. But anybody else, there's going to be several of them. Pay attention to emails. Those will be going out soon. We'll list all the classes that we are offering here in the classroom. We have core credits. We have 3s. And a few 1s too as well mixed in directly in there. This class, as well as all of our other ones, are always online to utilize as a resource. We got Hank sitting in the audience right here. He has his own class that was up there once. That's still up on our site, so you can utilize that in order to better your business and be more knowledgeable of those things as well. Those are on there. These surveys that are in front of you are very useful to us too as well for this class, as well as any ideas you may have. For anybody interested, the education board meets on the second Tuesday of the month at 10 o'clock. If anybody's interested in joining, we have several members who are actually in attendance today too as well. These ideas will help us to generate new lunch and learns directly through the year. This year being a little bit of an offset because we have so many CEs that we're going to be offering, so those are going to take the place of a lot of those lunch and learns over the next few months. So March and April, we'll have a lot of different classes. If anybody has any questions, obviously you can always reach out to us at the office. Thank you all for coming, and thank ladies for the presentation.